The Sabres topic, which I'm sorry to bring the mood down here on a sunny, beautiful morning here on a Tuesday in the middle of June. 10 days until the NHL draft. All this comes up really quickly. And then free agency only a couple of days after that. And, hey, I was kind of excited for this offseason. A week ago, I was excited for this offseason. It was everybody that has a source, Friedman and Saravelli and Dreger and the French reporter for Renaud Lavoie, who I love saying his name. Who else? All these guys. They all, Pierre LeBrun, they all have been saying the Sabres are looking to do something. They're looking to do something big. They're going to be aggressive. They're calling teams to let them know, hey, we want to do something momentous this offseason. And what do you usually do in the NHL? You wait till the end of the final, so we know we're not getting that until at least the end of this week or probably next week. And then that'll get fired up leading up to the draft in 10 days. So not surprising that nothing's happened yet, and I wouldn't expect anything to happen for at least a few more days. But I was excited. Okay, give me something to live for a little bit with this team, even if it's modest. Give me, Ryan McLeod, that was a nice trade last year, right? Give me something that even rates above that. That gets me to check in just a little bit more than, oh, you added a third line set. Okay, all right, nice. So what'd you give up? We could debate about that for, a day, and then, all right, everything else kind of the same, kind of sort of the same. Because when I hear aggressive, I'm thinking, okay, you're going to be willing to do another trade where you're moving a guy off your team that's important, or one of your top prospects, or the number 9 pick, and package that with a couple of things. And hey, maybe Bo Byram's going to get traded, and you're going to find your way to some upgrade at forward or on the blue line, whatever. Go find that Owen Power partner. Finally. 3 years been waiting for that. Was pumped up. And then you've had a couple of days of this JJ Peterka report from Friedman, and there was already smoke about it, so it's not out of left field. But Peterka wanting a change of scenery. Friedman saying that people believe that he's unhappy and that he wants out. And then, listening to Chopin Bulldog yesterday, I'm hearing them talk about Alex Tuch. And I'm thinking about Paul yesterday on with us, talking about Alex Tuch and then the whole core of the team. I'll get to that in a minute. But what Peterka wanting out means, it does not feel good. It would be another guy that's talented that is just either sick of it, or maybe for him it's more about, maybe for him it's more about the area and that he wants to live in a big city, or he just wants to, for him he just wants something different for his career. If Alex Tuch is going to want out, and you can rewind back to locker room cleanout day when he did his press conference and he got the layup question of, have you thought about, or what are your thoughts on your contract going into the final year of it when you're eligible to sign on July 1st? And Tuch, who, if he was 100% in and wanted to be here long term and felt like it was a matter of time before he would sign a long-term extension, that's the easiest question in the world. You just answer it with, I love the area, I love the guys, I want to be here, I want to be a part of the solution. You could answer that question 7 different ways and no one will remember the way you answered it. But the way he did, which was more, I don't really want to talk about it right now. Said, I haven't really thought of it, haven't really thought about it at all, haven't spoken to my wife about it, which you would assume a guy would do. Just not dismissive of the question, but felt like, I don't want to get into it. Because why wouldn't a guy that has been a leader on this team, has been one of their best players, has, grown up nearby the area and grown up a Sabre fan. Why would he not want to discuss, a future with the Buffalo Sabres? Well, potentially it could be he's not convinced. He's not convinced that this is what's best for his career. And I'm not criticizing Alex Tuch if that is where he ultimately lands. Because honestly, for his career, he's a little older than JJ Peterka. We're talking about a 6-year gap between the two. Tuch is 29 years old. So this last contract, this is going to be his last big contract. If he signs for, 6 years or something of the sort, then that takes you to age 35, and that's the big one. You can go somewhere else after that if you're still a good player, but this is your big extension. And in some instances, it might be a decision on where do I want to. I've got half my career left if I'm lucky. Where do I want to spend it? And does the guy, even the guy that grew up watching the 05-06 Sabres and watching Tim Connolly in the 06 playoffs and Dumont and Afinogenov and Campbell and all these guys, does that guy that grew up with all of that say, yeah, I'm good being here forever? Or I want to win a cup? And for any player that's that good, and Tuch is very, very good. I mean, he's scored 36 goals exactly in 2 of the last 3 years. I just don't know how you could blame a guy for, I want to win the cup. When I'm done, when I look back on my career in 40 years, I want a picture in my house of me raising the Stanley Cup. I want a ring sitting on a display in a display case somewhere. And how could you possibly right now believe that this is the place that's going to happen for you? I mean, I don't know what his relationship or what any of those players' relationships would be like with people in the front office and Adams and what the relationships are like with Lindy Ruff, but I don't think it's a leap at all for a 29-year-old player that is as good as he is to say, do I want to keep going in circles and maybe one time this wheel will spit us out into the playoffs, or we'll just go around forever, as opposed to I could go be a part of something that's going to compete for championships. There was a report at the deadline that Tampa was interested in Tuch. And if I'm Tuch or Tuch's agent and knows, Tampa, that's one team, there'll be no shortage of contenders that are going to want a 6'4" scoring winger that led the league in shorthanded goals and has, 66 games of playoff experience from before when he was in Buffalo. Who wouldn't want that guy? What contender wouldn't want that guy? It's why Tampa reportedly did want him. Florida might be out of spaces on the board, but almost anywhere else, you probably could get a look. So going and winning championships versus, this is the team that I grew up with, and I'm sure he has a desire to turn it around. I think anybody would that has an emotional tie to the team, but how long does that go? And all this is to say, I think there is a real chance, and I have a real worry that Tuch might be going into the final year of his deal without the really... I don't know how good the chances are of him actually re-upping with the Sabres. I'm worried about it. Him more than Peterka, by a lot. I am worried about Tuch wanting to leave because I wonder what that starts to look like. If he wants to go, the guy with the emotional tie to the team from before he was even here, is that the first domino? The first real big domino to fall? Paul yesterday said, just in his own guesstimation, in his opinion, that if they are bad again this season, then that could be it for all of them. That is Dahlin, is Tage going to be able to say, I'm willing to keep going here? Now, they're under contract, so that's a little bit different than the Tuch situation, but are we on the verge of firing back up another stage of suffering and another rebuild? Or retool, call it whatever you want. Another flood of talented players that are just, they're done. They've had enough. I'm out. I don't know how far away we are, but when Paul says that, I don't think he's wrong. And if I were trying to figure out, how much more do they have, I think I might agree with him. That I might feel like if they don't do it this season, these guys are going to start filing out one by one. And what this fan base has already gone through for this amount of time, and wanting to believe that there's something here to build on, if they start filing out one by one, I don't know what that's going to look like. It feels like the team can't sink any further than it already has with its fans. And if that starts happening again, I don't know where we are. I don't know what they do. I feel like they're lost at sea, and there's no hope if that is to start happening. And it really, if that is in the back of your mind, like it is in the back of my mind right now, that, hey, all of that could be the case in a year, then it really ratchets up the importance of this season. If you believe, like, okay, we're nearing the end here of the emotional toll that some of these guys can take, the amount of losing that these guys could take, I should really call it, then that makes this year all the more important. 803-0550 is the phone number. What I really wanted to get into, and what we will, is on the Sabres. If you have already checked out on them, what was the moment? What was the moment you checked out on the Sabres? And if you haven't, would this core wanting out be the final straw for you? Let me know what you think. Talking a little bit of hockey